Hello everyone, and welcome to what is probably the coolest guide I've ever done. Gwen Inferno Ring on Ouch. Let's get started. This probably isn't the easiest strategy out there, but it's still easy enough, and it's pretty cool. First, for this dart placement, just shove this guy as top right as possible into the corner. Just shove him there. This guy goes as low as possible while making sure that the outside of his range border touches the edge of this crack right here. And then this guy goes as high as possible, making sure that the range border goes about halfway through this little line, or this little border, or the edge of the water right here. About halfway up that. If you got the placements right, you should be able to beat round 6. And then for round 7, get range on your left dart, and then we do have to do a bit of micro, unfortunately. Set it to strong to hit the green, and then set it back to first immediately. And then just switch it to strong again at some point before the blues show up. Next, we have another dart monkey right over here, just as high as possible, making sure that the range border touches the edge of this crack right here. If you've gotten these placements right, you should be able to beat rounds 8 and 9. And then, for round 10, sniper right over here, just as bottom left as possible, or just somewhere in this corner, and set it to last. Switch it back to strong when it reaches exactly 62 pops. You should just barely beat the round, but it works. And now, in the middle of round 13, we'll place Gwen right over here as top right as possible. Gwen's early game is like the main reason this strategy even works, so that's pretty nice. And 14 should be no issue, because you have Gwen. And then, for 15, another sniper right over here, and set him to strong, and then move Gwen's cocktail right over here, use it as soon as it comes off cooldown, and then when a red leaks from the right vertical lane, switch one of your snipers to first to catch it, and then set it back to strong, obviously. Next, before 17, get a ninja right over here, as left as possible, about equally spaced from both tracks. The outline should be touching the bottom yellow line, or the bottom of the bottom yellow line right here, if you really need that visual indicator. And then, get seeking, ninja discipline, and sharp shurikens. Normally on Ouch, you would go 2 double shot ninjas and a deadly precision for the early game, but we're doing something a bit different. Get full metal jacket on your sniper for round 22, and use cocktail. And then for 23, get camo on your left dart. Well, obviously it's not for this round, it's for next round, but it does make this round a little bit more consistent. Ninja seeking RNG could play a factor in this round, but I don't see that being like a thing to worry about. And then for 25, place a wizard right over here, just as low, or just as wherever you can in this crack, making sure that it's about equally distant from both of the vertical tracks. And get seeking on it. And then, when the yellows stop, before the purples show up, use a wall of fire, or cocktail, sorry. That should just beat the round, basically, for free. I don't think Ninja RNG should play a factor here at all. And then, get Arcane Blast on your wizard. And then, I know, it's a lot, you gotta use Cocktail, like, a few seconds after the greens come out. Sniper shot timing might make this round seem a bit sketchier, but it shouldn't really vary too much from run to run. And then for round 30, get the most based early game of all time, Arcane Mastery. Unfortunately, this guy could have a little bit of RNG because his projectiles are seeking, so if that caused you to lose, sorry about that. I guess I didn't do enough testing, unfortunately. And then just use a cocktail on 31. And then get camo on your wizard as well, because you kind of want it to see camo. And then get 102 on your sniper. We'll be going for semi-automatic and then full auto rifle before round 40. It's kind of crazy, but you'll see how close it gets. To affording it, I mean, not like the round, but yeah. 35 should just get destroyed by our wizard and our sniper, so that's nice to see. 36 is probably the sketchiest round of the entire run. Has the most RNG in this run by a long shot, even though there still isn't too much. Use a cocktail instantly. Cocktail should make the first 2 waves of pinks a non-issue. And then set your Arcane Mastery to strong, and if something leaks, be ready to set your sniper to first. Your fast attacking sniper, that is. You see how close it got there. It doesn't get that close all the time, but a good portion of the time it will, so be ready to watch for that. And then, if you had to micro your sniper, set it back to strong for 37 and get semi-auto, and set your wizard back to first. Semi-auto early game isn't actually, like, terrible, and it's actually, fun fact, used on the top 1 hardest map. The hardest custom map, sorry. And just cocktail the camos on 37. That's kind of important. The ceramics should be like a complete non-issue here, so don't worry about them. And then, for round 40, get full auto rifle. We have about $5 to spare, so if any price nerfs happen to literally anything here, like anything gets more expensive, it won't work. The only thing I see possibly getting a little bit more expensive is Arcane Mastery, but that's about it, because this upgrade is kinda broken. So yeah, we have a 104 full auto rifle for round 40, and we still want to use a cocktail just to clean up. Move it down here and use it. You should just, like, bulldoze the round. And then move cocktail back over here. And now, remove the obstacle and place a village right over here. Just, like, right below, put it, like, right below Gwen, and then move it left a bit. That's, like, the easiest way to, like, do it. And then, don't upgrade it yet. I guess we're just buying it now. But then, for the camos on 42, just use a cocktail. It is possible for Arcane Mastery to beat it without that, but it's a bit of RNG, and I don't really want to be dealing with that. 43 should get absolutely destroyed, and you should get Monkey Commerce, or the discount upgrades, on your village. And then, we'll be getting another village. You'd think that we'd immediately also get discounts on this village too, but no, we have nothing to pop camo purples, so we have to buy radar scanner on this village as soon as possible so our full auto rifle can kill them. And then, Monkey Commerce on this guy as well. And then, get large caliber on your sniper, and it should be double discounted. We want both villages to be able to affect it. And then for 47, just use a cocktail. Makes the round just a little bit easier. And then, jungle drums. For 49, get a super right over here. Just place it like... The best way to place this is to like either place it right above your dart monkey, or place it so that the outside of the range border touches the right side of like the left vertical track. Just like place it above your dart monkey, and it should also be double discounted. That is like very, very important for this. And then also buy range mid-round and cocktail. We'll be getting this guy to a robo monkey. Not the best without Geraldo, but still pretty good, especially with the full auto sniper, but I'll get to that synergy more later. If you really want to, you can cocktail on 50, but you shouldn't die. You just shouldn't. There's like almost no way if you have the full auto rifle and the super. In the middle of 51, get robo. Set the top targeting to close and the bottom one to first. And then also just get knockback whenever you can afford it. 52 might seem a little bit sketchy even though we have a robo. So like if you want to use an ability there, go for it. So yeah, get knockback on your robo. And now we'll get the final few things to start saving up for the Inferno Ring. Obviously, we'll be buying the Ring of Fire right over here, just about as central as you can make it. I wouldn't try and use, like, the actual, like, the vent here, or, like, the drain. I wouldn't try and use that to like, line up the placement. I'd try and use the range, try and make it as equally distanced from each side as possible. This should be about good. And then get a 4-2-0 Ring of Fire. We need the range here and not the damage just because we kind of need it to hit the tracks for this save up. That's kind of important. And even then, it still can't hit the tracks a little bit, so let's buff its range a bit. Primary training, and the next cheapest way to do this is with a 300 Alchemist. And now, we start the 49k save up for the Inferno Ring. You don't have to do anything until 63 though, so I'll see you then. So, for 63, probably the easiest way to do this is just cocktail the first wave, Firestorm the second, and then cocktail the third wave. You want to use cocktail a little bit before the waves come out, just to be safe. And then, for 64, you might have to do a little bit of sniper micro if anything leaks. Just to seal it. Usually you won't have to. Usually you shouldn't have to do this micro. But there's a non-zero chance that you do have to use it. And then make sure to set it back to strong afterward, because this sniper is best on strong, and is actually a key part of the save up. He synergizes pretty well with Robo, as Robo can get pierce capped on the insides of like BFBs and stuff. And this guy can help clear that up a little bit, and Robo also kind of has pretty mid single target damage, and this guy helps a lot with that too. He helps with just killing things quickly, and Robo isn't too good at that. So, we're back on 71, where just for absolute safety, Cocktail and Firestorm. Shouldn't be needed, though. From some testing I've done, you don't actually have to use either ability, but it's just there for safety, you know? 71 is a pretty weird round, and especially with this setup, it can be hard to deal with. For 73, you could also use a Cocktail if you'd like. On the Moabs, not the BFBs. The BFBs are no issue. '75 is probably the next sketchiest round of the run. You want to set your sniper to first so it can just kill all of the leads, as fast as possible so the robo doesn't get blocked at all, and it also helps with taking out the fortified Moabs. Once the fortified Moabs are gone, switch it back to strong and use a cocktail. Actually, don't set it back to strong, just keep it on first. That's probably the safest move here. And then Firestorm 76. You can also keep him on first for 77, just to blitz each BFB as fast as possible. For absolute safety, you want to use a cocktail on... Just use a cocktail when the BFBs get close, and this should just allow everything to die pretty quickly. The final two BFBs can get a bit sketchy, but you'll most likely be fine. Your sniper's on first anyway, so yeah. And then Firestorm, both waves on 78. And even the camo wave, which is usually pretty hard, stands no chance. Gwen OP. And then for 79, set your sniper back to strong. That is very important. You want it to be targeting the BFBs here because Robo will be more focused on the rainbows, and dealing with the BFB layer here can be a bit difficult. When the fortified BFB on the left gets close, just use cocktail, and once most of the rainbows are gone, set your sniper to first, just to like win that much easier. Ooh, lag a bit. Okay, cool. You should just barely beat 79. And then for 80, set your cocktail as low as possible, and then when it pops into, or just whenever the ZOMG gets close, use it, and then on the insides, when it's mostly just Moabs, Firestorm. Kinda easy. You also want to move Gwen's cocktail back here. And then get Inferno Ring as soon as possible, because this setup dies horribly to 81 if you don't buy it. And then set the Meteor to strong. And now, the last few things before we get the Overclock, which is going to make this even stronger. Primary Mentoring. And upgrade that 300 Alk from earlier to a 420 Stronger Stim. This should just win super easily. And now, let's get the Overclock. Let's just put him up here. Just up here, under double discount, and Cleansing Foam. It'll just be Cleansing Foam for now. You don't have to target the foam anywhere specific. I'll just target it, like, away, because everything important has camo detection, so that's not really an issue. And you should get Overclock after 85, so, yeah. I wouldn't recommend using it for a while, though, because, I don't know, it's just not needed. A 54k tower or 55k tower should be strong enough to kill these rounds on its own, basically. And then, next, to buff our Inferno Ring even further, we'll be getting a Call to Arms. So, get Mib. The only thing it really helps with is our Robo. This guy can't slow DDTs, and we kind of want him to slow DDTs. He's pretty helpful for that. If you really want to, you can use some abilities, except Overclock. Just use any ability that is not named Overclock on 90 if you really want to. Shouldn't be needed, though. And then, straight away on 92, Overclock your Inferno Ring. The Meteors actually don't need to be overclocked here. It's mostly the main attack that we want to overclock, because that's the one that's dealing with Super Ceramics, which is Inferno Ring's probably largest issue. And then for 93, overclock again as soon as possible. And if you want, you can also use a Firestorm. Shouldn't be needed, though. I guess it'll give the Inferno Ring +1 damage, maybe even +3 damage to, like, DDTs. And then for 94, you shouldn't have to use any abilities. Except if you want a cocktail, use a cocktail. You'll just kill things much faster. And then, Call to Arms before 95. We only have $700 to spare. So, yeah, it's kind of well-timed. Well, it's not intentionally well-timed, it just so happened to line up this way, but shh, it was me who planned this. And then and then when you see a DDT on 95, use overclock on your Inferno Ring. If a DDT seems to be getting far, just use a Firestorm to clean it up. Usually they shouldn't, because meteors should just one-shot all of them. But this is where RNG might make a slight appearance. It actually is best for our sniper to be on first, because Inferno Ring already kills all the ZOMGs too fast. Just to be safe, call to arms on 96, when the first wave of fortified Moabs comes out. And then mid-round, place a Spike Storm right above your full auto. If you place your villages right, you should be able to put it above. And get 140. It should also be under double discount. For 97, just use a Spike Storm when the ZOMG gets somewhat close, and you can also Cocktail. It'll help a little bit. You see, fortified Cerams are getting very close here, so just to control them a bit better, we'll be getting an Arctic Wind right over here. Also, that mod I'm using to make them snap, or to make it snap to the nearest place is called Auto Nudge, by the way. Goated mod. But yeah. Get a 032 Arctic Wind. This will help a little bit, trust me. And overclock and call to arms as soon as the round starts. You probably actually want to overclock before the round starts, just so it doesn't kill the round too fast, because that is actually a problem. We need it to stall a little bit, so we can get, or we need to stall just a little bit to be able to get everything back for 99. This should be fine. And then before the round, also just get another Spike Storm, because we need a little bit more round 100 damage. Overclock call to arms as soon as possible, and just for some absolute safety, Firestorm. Shouldn't be needed, but I guess it helps. And then for round 100, move Cocktail down here, and use double Spike Storm while call to arms is still active. And just Cocktail to clean up. And if you've done everything correctly, and trust me, it is a lot, so be proud of yourself, you should now have your Ouch Black border with probably the coolest strategy that's ever been used to black border this map. Inferno Ring, Gwen, full auto rifle, call to arms, and overclock. I hope this guide helped you out. Have a nice rest of your day, and goodbye.